Okay, I think it's going. So, what do you think differentiates the Minnesota music scene from others?
I think probably a defining characteristic is the interconnectivity, and collaboration. You just see so many bands disbanding and getting back together and forming new bands, and it's all these people that kind of revolve around each other, and that is really exciting to me.
Me too. If you could choose one artist that best represented our scene, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a hard question. Just one, huh?
Yeah. I guess two.
I think I would have to say someone like POS, because he is such an example of what I was talking about with being in a lot of different groups and trying a lot of different sounds and transcending different scenes. And he's done, the solo work, and being in Doomtree has been such a huge driving force for the hip-hop scene. And then, he does more experimental things like Marijuana Death Squads and Building Better Bombs. And I think he's just kind of a poster child for
all-around guy.
What is so unique about this place.
Yeah. Who are some young bands in the local scene that deserve more attention?
I've been a huge fan of Bomba de Luz over the last year or so, and I just think Lydia is so gifted, and she made me really excited about the next generation of musicians, and that kind of opened the door to a lot of other young bands, because I started going to her shows and talking to her about it, so I've discovered some other things that way. John Mark Nelson was another one that was just so impressive. But honestly, right now, we just put out a call for the back to school episode. I'm just really excited to hear new stuff, because it's been a while since I've discovered a brand new band, except for Listerio Confession, who's here today.
What else? What are we missing here? What's on your music scene wish list?
I think more all ages venues.
Yes, definitely.
When I was growing up, that was a huge deal. There were tons. The Foxfire was a big one, and even record stores would do more.
Yeah, I know the Electric Fetus sometimes has concerts, but I into one.
But Eclipse Records, they had they became a venue pretty much for a while. And they're in the new location. They don't do shows, but that was a big deal when they were by McAllister. And I feel like we could have more. Yeah,
I went to my first varsity show and my first staff show this year, and I found that I really want to go there more, but there are not enough shows that are all ages. How do you see music scenes connecting to other parts of life, either in Minnesota or beyond, like culture and?
I think it's just like anything, it's a community, and I think that helps people. I've seen, especially when people are going through medical problems, watching the music scene band together and put on a huge benefit show and raise money, it's really important that I think it's going beyond just putting on a show. It's they're actually doing something to support other people in the community.
Yeah, I really like the community here too.
Yeah.
How do you think technology like Bandcamp and YouTube has influence on our scene? And do you think it has helped or hindered the quality of music?
I think it's helped. I think everything is just more accessible now.
Yeah.
So anyone can start a band and record in their bedroom if they want to and put it out. And it's interesting watching. I don't know if it's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but it's interesting watching people who've only released music online. Yeah. And then, maybe it'll be a year and then they finally play their first show. And it can be hard to transition when people already have an expectation of what you sound like, and then all of a sudden you have to become a performer. Yeah,
that's interesting because there's a YouTube artist I watch, and he mainly started on YouTube, and then he's transferred some of his energy he puts on YouTube to shows, and it's really amazing to see that transfer.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. When did you discover that writing about music was a passion of yours?
The 11th grade. I used to read a columnist named Jim Walsh, who at the time was writing for the Pioneer Press, and it just became this thing in my life that was really important. He wrote a local music column that would come out every Friday, so I would wake up extra early every Friday morning so I could read the whole section before I went to school, and then I would go to Cheapo and buy whatever he wrote about, and I was just like so devoted to it, and it just seemed like such a cool combination of some things that I was already pretty passionate about.
Yeah. Do you think internet has helped influence like music journalism? Do you think it's helped get it, I think, more well known? Like
Yeah, it's changed it though.
Yeah. How has it changed it?
Well, I mean, anyone can write about music, and I think there's less of an emphasis on high quality writing and more about taste making, which I don't necessarily see the role of the critic as being like the end all be all person that you need to, you know. I mean, I just told you I went and bought every CD that Jim Walsh ever wrote about, but I think that a music critic should start a conversation about music, not end it.
I totally agree with you.
And I think that I just wish that there were more writers online that were kind of opening a dialogue and actually getting into deeper conversations about music instead of just like, this track is awesome, download it now, bye.
Yeah, I always like finding more about the meaning of music.
Yeah.
I love how it like affects our society and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
How did you end up working at the Current? And was this the kind of work you always wanted to do?
Yeah, it was. So I started blogging. That was about 2005. I blogged for free for a few years for a few different sites, and then I started freelancing and for a few different papers, and then I got a job. My first full-time writing job was at City Pages. Okay. So I worked there for 4 years, and then that was really how I transitioned to the Current because I was already doing this kind of work, so I could show them that I knew my stuff, and transitioned over.
What's your favorite part about working for the Current?
I think it's just having access to so many artists because so many people come in all the time to record sessions and do interviews, and there's so many people there that are so passionate about music that you're just always discovering something new and talking about things in a pretty deep way and arguing about music, and it's just it's great. It's a great environment to be a music lover.
What's your dream? What do you hope to accomplish in the next 20 years with your career?
I would like to have a national audience. That's a pretty big goal of mine. Specifically in radio, I would like to have my own show.
That's cool.
And eventually figure out a way to bring that national or write nationally in some way.
What is the best concert you've been to and why?
There's so many. Let's see.
You could say a couple too, I guess.
Okay. Well, I mean, one of my favorite performers is Ani DeFranco. She's just been a long time favorite musician of mine. So there's a few different times that I've seen her where she just plays like all these songs that have meant so much to me over the years, and it's like a very emotional experience. And I love getting that kind of experience at a show, kind of feeling like you're getting shaken to the core a little bit. And then in a different way, I suppose Tune Yards has been one of my favorite shows. I guess specifically the first time I ever saw Tune Yards, she was opening for Dirty Projectors at the Cedar, and it had been a long time since I had gone to a show and just gotten my mind blown by somebody. You know, it's when you go to so many shows, they start to kind of blend together, and some of them are good, some of them are just mediocre, and it starts to get kind of gray. And that was just like so good. Like, she was just so different and unique and good. And I ran over and bought her record, and I was just like immediately became a fan. And that hadn't happened for so long that it's just like a good memory for me.
Yeah, concerts are a way to like get into an artist. I've been to like concerts before where I knew nothing about the artist, and like right after I'm like, I gotta check you out.
Yeah.
What is the worst concert you've been to and why?
A couple that come to mind are like Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah, and MGMT. I think the thing that really turns me off at a live show is when an artist is just obviously they're just not serving the audience at all. They don't care about the audience. They're acting really just rude and like they don't care. And that can be cool. Like at a punk show, that can be cool, but just having a complete disregard for the audience is such a turn off for me. And those are two bands that it was just like, oh my God, I'm so bored and mad at the same time.
Yeah. What's the weirdest or most unexpected thing you've ever seen happen at a concert?
There's a local artist called Tickle Torture that I saw not too long ago, and I had been listening to his music online and kind of thought I knew what to expect. It's like this dance pop stuff. And I went to see him at the 331, which is a tiny little neighborhood bar, and he completely stripped like down to nothing. He just had like a feather boa that he was holding to not expose himself, and he was like dancing like crazy, firing off all these confetti cannons and stuff, and I just did not expect that, and it was really fun.
Yeah. What's a song or album that changed your life?
That's a good question too. Those definitive questions. It's really hard for me to pick just one thing. I guess I would have to go with probably the Beatles' White Album.
If you were to switch, and why Beatles' White Album?
A couple of reasons. I've always been a huge Beatles fan, but as I got older and kind of started moving into their later career, it just kind of opened some doors for me of thinking about what music can be. And it's also one of the first things I talked to my husband about when I met him. So it really, that was the first thing that we really connected on, and it's what made me want to keep talking about it.
Music is a good connector.
Yeah.
Okay, and last kind of fun question, I guess. If you were to switch bodies with one local artist for a day, who would you choose and why?
I think I would choose Lizzo, because I want to know what it feels like to be able to rap. And she's so good.
I think I would choose Jeremy Master Smith because it'd be fun to sing in his voice, just talk.
Yeah.
Like, because he has an interesting voice. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we're done. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's great talking to you.
Yeah. It was fun.
This.